Hey there, beer lovers. There's no update this week because I'm working on shooting a 5-piece video called 30 Michigan Beers to Drink Before You Die, but I just saw something recently, and actually I've seen it a couple times recently, and I really had to get it off my chest. Recently in the beer community, and after watching a bunch of other beer blogs and reading some beer stuff, I've seen a rise in beer snobs, and as a craft beer enthusiast, that's one of the things I cannot stand. So today's video will be the 3 reasons why you should never become a beer snob. Reason number 1, it negates your roots. Nobody starts off drinking a lambic or an IPA or a stout or a porter. You start off drinking what's available to you, and for most people in America, that's Bud Light, Miller Lite, Budweiser, Labatt. Let's call these beers what they are. Domestic beers. They're the generic beer. And generic isn't actually a bad thing. They are what everyone starts drinking. They are party beers. Alright, I'm not bringing a 6-pack of an IPA to a party to play flip cup, or to play beer pong, or to drink maybe 5 of and leave the rest behind at the party. No, when I go to a party, I'm taking a dirty 30. And beer snobs have forgotten this. Most of your young wild nights will be with cheap vodka, and I don't mean cheap in quality, I mean cheap in price, and generic domestic beers. Reason number 2, it makes the craft beer community look bad. The craft beer community is just this. It's a community. We're supposed to bring people in. We're supposed to invite people in to these breweries, to these little undistributed beers, these hard to find beers. I want people to drink as many different beers as possible. Beer to me is like an art form. You might like the corporate art. You might like the generic on the doctor's office wall art, or you might like 13th century impressionism. I don't even know if that's a real thing. You might, spend your days going to museums and walking around looking at the Van Goghs and the Rembrandts. To equate it to music, you might like, what's on the radio, but liking that, or liking the metal or the rock that doesn't get radio play, or the indie bands, does not make you better than the people that like the generic stuff. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Miller Lite or Molson Canadian or Bud Light being your beer of choice. Acting in a way in which what you like makes you better than someone else. This leads us to our 3rd point. The number 3 reason not to be a beer snob is it makes you look like a douche. One of my first trips to a craft brew pub was on St. Patrick's Day. I got there before all of my friends. I'd never been there before. I'd never been out on St. Patrick's Day. And I asked the waiter what they had for green beer. And he replied back to me, "We don't have that here. We have good beer." That guy is a douche. And that's essentially what you look like when you do that. Oh, I don't drink that. I drink good beer. That would be akin to someone coming over to your house for a cookout, and when you go to give them a burger, they sit there and go, is this grass-fed beef? Because I don't eat grass-fed beef. And where's the brioche bun and the artisan cheese? Oh, you don't eat artisan cheese? That's so beneath me. You really need to up your palate. You look like a giant sack of shit when you do that. The people that do that, I just discount them as beer people altogether. It makes it really hard for me to take you seriously when you act in that manner. And these are the 3 reasons to never be a beer snob. Don't forget where you started. This is a community. And don't be a douche. That's really all for me today. See you guys next week with the first of our 5-piece segment on the 30 beers to drink in Michigan. It'll be the IPAs up first. So yeah, see you guys next week, and have a safe drive home.